Bibliophiles of the internet, my name is Adriana and today I'm here to bring you my January book haul. Yes, I know I recently brought you my end of the year book haul, but new year, new books, that's how it works. I read books and then I buy new books. That's just how life goes. So without further ado, let me show you some of the newest additions to my shelf. The first two books I'm going to show you I got because I sold some of my books online and then I got store credit. So the first book I bought with my store credit was Last Night I Sang to the Monster by Benjamin Alere Sáenz. First of all, I am extremely pleased, beyond pleased with this purchase because this book is out of print. It's almost impossible to find, and it's really impossible to find in new condition. But this copy is in pristine condition, like it came in plastic wrap. This book is about a character named Zach who is in rehab. He's gone through some unbelievably tough experiences in his life and he's really not fond of remembering why he's in rehab in the first place. So this book is about his stay in rehab and the people that he meets when he's there and the stories that he learns about them and also what he learns about himself. It's powerful, it's raw, it's unrelenting. I love everything about this book and I'm so happy that I finally have it on my shelf. And the other book I bought with my store credit is another one that I've already read and I've been wanting for so long but could never justify buying, and that is a paperback edition of The Coldest Girl in Coldtown by Holly Black. The Coldest Girl in Coldtown was another one of my standout novels from 2014. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still reeling from it. It captivated my imagination and I can definitively say that this is my favorite standalone vampire novel ever. Mostly because those don't exist. That's why this is awesome. As I just mentioned, The Coldest Girl in Coldtown is a vampire novel. It's about a character named Tana who lives in a world where vampirism is the norm. People view it as an epidemic, as a disease. Everyone knows about it. It's not a secret. In this version of reality, there have been quarantine zones that have been created and they're called cold towns. So vampires and the infected are exiled into cold towns. And like I said, this book is about a girl named Tana whose life has been very strongly affected by vampirism and how she ends up in a cold town. Personally, I think this book is absolutely fantastic. It was a 5-star book for me. It still is, and I've been wanting to reread it basically ever since I finished it. So I'm very happy to finally own a copy of this book as well. The next two books that I have I got from Book Outlet, probably on their Boxing Day sale because the prices were outrageously low during that time. I bought the paperback edition of The Lord of the Opium by Nancy Farmer, which is the second book in the Mateo Alacran series, the first book being The House of the Scorpion. This series is set in the future in a new land called Opium, which runs along what used to be the border between the US and Mexico. The main character of this series, Mateo, is actually a clone, and he learns that he was bred for only one purpose, and that is to one day become the Lord of the Opium. So this series is all about Mateo uncovering the true nature of his existence and grappling with his humanity. And in this book in particular, it's time for him to take over as the overlord of this operation. And it's all about how he reacts to that situation. And also from Book Outlet's boxing sale, I also bought A Confusion of Princes by Garth Nix. Admittedly, I don't know too much about this book, but I do know that the main character is a prince, Prince Kemri, and basically he lives in an intergalactic empire. The shorthand of what I understand about this book is princes in spaceships shooting down other princes. I am totally all about that. And I've never read anything by Garth Nix. I know he's very well known for his fantasy, but I'm interested in reading his sci-fi as well. And then I bought a graphic novel, which was Rat Queens Volume 1, Sass and Sorcery. I have read this graphic novel already, and it's really great. I really enjoyed it, and it's basically about kick-ass females kicking ass. I've seen this comic described as Lord of the Rings meets Bridesmaids, and that's so accurate that I really don't want to add any more to that. But basically this comic is fantasy. It's about a band of women who I think are mercenaries, and basically They kill monsters and they cause trouble, and everyone hates them for it. So if you want to read a comic with a female-studded cast that stars women of every color, creed, body type, sexual persuasion, and every other thing that you can think of, then you should probably pick up this volume. Next, I bought a collection of SFF short stories called The Melancholy of Mecha Girl by Catherine M. Valente. The Melancholy of Mecha Girl is a series of short stories or poems that all have Japanese themes. Fingers crossed, I'm hoping to read this book in February. It sounds fascinating, and I can't wait to acquaint myself with more of Catherine M. Valente's work. And the next thing I bought was the second volume of Nisekoi by Naoshi Komi. I've read this manga volume already. This series was the January pick for the Booktube Manga Club, and I will leave a link in the description for the Goodreads group in case you want to join us. This is a shonen romantic comedy, and it's about two characters who absolutely can't stand one another, and the first one is a boy named Raku, and the second one is a girl named Chitoge. Respectively, they are the son and the daughter of two warring Japanese gangs. So in order to bring peace to these warring gangs, they have to pretend to date one another even though they cannot stand the sight of one another. This manga series is actually really genuinely funny, and I've had such a good time reading it so far. The next book that I bought is not a novel, but it's called 642 Things to Write About. This book is exactly what it sounds like. It is a huge compilation of a bunch of really great writing prompts. I first heard about this book on Penelope from Penelope's Picks channel. I will link her down below, but basically the second that I saw this in her last book haul, I bought it. This book is absolutely fantastic. It's a godsend. I've already used it several times because, like I said in a different video, my goal this year is to write something every single day. And sometimes you just can't think of anything. Sometimes you don't have an idea. And that's when I turn to this book because the prompts are just phenomenal and they really get the wheels turning. Next, I bought another book that I was introduced to by another amazing booktuber, and that was Marina from a Makeshift library. I will leave a link to her channel down below. And obviously that book was written in red by Anne Bishop. From what I understand, this book is about a main character named Meg Corbin who can see the future if her skin is cut. Because of her amazing ability, at first she is enslaved, but then she escapes to a community that is run by others. And I'm fairly sure that Meg's life only gets more complicated and dangerous after that point. Obviously, I haven't read this book yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and say trigger warning for self-harm or self-mutilation. I don't know if Meg is cutting her own skin or if someone else is doing it, but if that is triggering to you, I might say stray away from this one. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this book, and it was also one of Marina's favorite books of 2014, and I trust her judgment hardcore. Finally, I bought Sabriel by Garth Nix. To be honest, I don't know enough about this book to provide a comprehensive summary, but I know that it's about a main character, a girl named Sabriel, who goes to a school to learn magic, I think, and also something about dead who won't stay dead, so fantasy zombies, maybe? And also Sabriel's father, Abhorsen, goes missing, and so she is sent on a journey to find out what happened to him. Like I said earlier in this haul, I've never read anything by Garth Nix. This is definitely a higher priority than A Confusion of Princes, and I'm really excited to finally find out what this YA high fantasy series is all about. And the last book that I have to show you today is definitely the book that I am most excited about, and that is The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. As you well know, this is one of my most highly anticipated 2015 releases, and I have it. This book came out very recently, January 13th, and I got it on the release date because I pre-ordered it. And also, did you notice the sticker? it's signed. So I got this signed hardcover edition for $9 pre-order, which is kind of ridiculous and awesome at the same time. And if you can see my bookmark right here, I am currently reading this book as of filming this video today, and it has not let me down. It is every bit as amazing as I anticipated it would be. I want to say this book is an urban fantasy story. It's about a town called Fairfold that is inhabited by fairies, and the townspeople are fully aware of this fact. They coexist with the fair folk. And this story is about a main character, Hazel, who lives in Fairfold with her brother, and the both of them for the longest time have been in love with this horned boy who sleeps in a glass casket in the middle of the forest. However, one day Hazel and her brother Ben, and basically the entire town of Fairfold, discover that the prince, this horned boy, has woken up, and that he's broken out of his glass coffin, and really terrible things start to happen. If this story sounds amazing to you, that's because it is, and so far Holly Black has been killing it, and I'm so excited to see where this story goes. It is a standalone novel. Can we just admire how rare that is? But obviously my opinion won't be set in stone until I turn the final page, so I'm looking forward to that. So those are all of the books that I wanted to share in this haul today. In the comments down below, please let me know if you've read any of these books that I showed in this video, and let me know if I piqued your interest in any of these stories as well. So that's everything that I had for this video today, and now I gotta go. I got books to read, things to do, you know the drill. And thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the flip side of the page. Bye.